We make the streams louder.
How is it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, I'm sorry I haven't posted again for a few weeks. Unfortunately, work has been killing me off. I've worked away in London for 3 weeks and then a week in York, so doing any videos or doing anything to the car has proven difficult for me to get time to do it, so I do apologise. I will say that you guys in London, I don't know how you live down there. The bikers and the mopeders down there have all got a death wish. And you guys in York, yeah, great, you have to travel like half an hour to the nearest supermarket. So yeah, I'm glad I live where I live. So yeah, a question I get asked a lot is, how do I find the Focus compared to the Astra? How is the Focus better than the Astra? So I thought I'll do a little video today explaining more reasons, the things I like about the Focus more than the Astra. Obviously, I'm not trying to offend anyone with an Astra Vxr. I always still loved my Astra Vxr when it worked. But yeah, I'm not trying to offend anybody or trying to get anyone butthurt about like, oh, the Astra's much better than the Focus and all this. Like, it's just my opinion. Since I've had the car, I've had it 8 months now. James reminded me yesterday. I've had it 8 months. Can you believe it? And things I like about the Focus compared to the Astra, what I prefer and what I feel the Focus is better at compared to the Astra. Don't get me wrong, like I said, I still love the Astra Vxrs. I think they're brilliant cars, but it's just my personal opinion as why I like the Focus compared to the Astra, apart from the reliability of my Astra. So it's basically comparing this car to my Astra, not the Astra in general. So let's get started. Right then, the first thing I do like about the Focus compared to the Astra is the gauges. Obviously, you've got your oil temperature there, your boost pressure there, and your oil pressure there. So that is like a really handy thing to have. Obviously, with the, as you guys know, well, same with the coolant. You got a coolant temp right there. You haven't got to go into the menus or anything like that. But that's really nice to have. Obviously, with the Astra Vxr, it was sort of a bit of a guesswork when the car was up to temperature. Obviously, the coolant, you could keep an eye on your coolant, and you can obviously buy aftermarket gauges for the Astra to keep an eye on all your pressures. But it's just nice that this comes with standard. The boost gauge, as far as I'm aware, isn't that accurate, like massively accurate, but it's still nice to have a boost gauge there. And obviously, the oil pressure is the most important one. So it's always good to keep an eye on that. But yeah, the oil temperature, it's always nice to know when the car is up to temperature before you can hoon it. So obviously you should never ever boot your car from cold. Always make sure that the oil's up to temperature first. Obviously, you talk, oh, the coolant temperature is up to I can boot it. No, it doesn't work like that. The oil temperature takes surprisingly a lot longer than the coolant to warm up. So just, yeah, that's just one of the things I do like about the Focus compared to the Astra. It's just nice having it all there, having the coolant temperature there. It's just all there, so you haven't got to go into the menus and keep an eye on your coolant temps and this, that and the other. And it's just nice having all that as standard rather than having to go try and find places to put your gauges along there and everywhere else. It's make you look a bit too cluttered, and obviously plumbing them all in. It's just nice. That's one thing I do think the Focus is better than the Astra. You've got all the gauges and everything to keep an eye on everything. Right then, one other thing I do like about the Focus compared to the Astra is the seating position. Now, on the Astra Vxrs, you are sat quite high up. So your roof, your head is quite close to the roof. I imagine like wearing a helmet or something if you're going to Santa Pod or anything. You're pretty much rubbing on the roof. You guys who own Astra Vxrs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Whereas the Focus, it's obviously a bigger roof line, isn't it? It's like the Astra's more sleek. The Focus seems like it's more of a higher up car, so you've got loads of headroom. I mean, it doesn't really affect me that much, but it's just like a nice position to be in. So this is sort of my, I say about there's my eye height. So I think that's just a perfect sort of view of everything and having to keep an eye on everything. So yeah, obviously I feel for a lot of you tool guys who own Astra Vxrs, because I imagine your head is sort of like, you know, rubbing bald spots in your head if you're really tall. But yeah, I do like the seated position on the Focus. It's just sort of a nice place to be, and you're just seated nicely, and the seats are lovely and comfortable. They hug you. But yeah, that's another thing I do feel that the Focus excels against my Astra. Now the next one is obviously the sound. I mean, the 5-pot sound sounds so good. Like don't get me wrong, the Astra Vxrs do sound good. They do sound nice on chat, but in my opinion, you just can't beat the sound of a 5-pot. It's just, I mean, it just sounds epic. I mean, look at that. It's just, it's such a nice sound. It really is. That's one thing I do like the most about this car, is how it sounds compared to the Astra. It just sounds epic, in my opinion. Just that 5-cylinder turbo sound is That's one thing I do really like about the Focus compared to the Astra. I mean, I imagine a lot of you will agree with me on that one. Like the 5-pot turbo sound, it can't beat. Obviously, it's nothing on the Audi Quattros and stuff like the old school ones. They're sort of like the daddy. But this, I think I just love the sound of the car. I mean, it's very rarely I have my music up with this car. With the Astra, I listen to my tunes and stuff a lot more than I do in this. With this, the stereo's pretty much off. Have the volume all the way down. I just love driving my window open, listening to the car. Obviously do the thing where you go through a tunnel or something, obviously you've got to put your foot down, ain't you? But I do love the sound of the Focus compared to the Astra. That is one thing that I really love about the car compared to the Astra. It's just the sound of it. It just sounds mint. But yeah, that is another thing I feel the Focus is better than the Astra, is the 100% the sound. Right, another thing I like about the Focus, obviously we're out driving now, is the power delivery. It's like, I know, don't get me wrong, the Astra was a lot of fun when you put your foot down because it frightened you. But it wanted to basically put you in a ditch at any point. Astra Vxr, you all know what I'm talking about. Whereas this, it's very more like, it's not as dramatic. You feel it gives you a bit more confidence. You can sort of predict what the car's going to do. Whereas the Astra, you sort of like, you have to sort of really hold on. So it's just nice when you're going to put your foot down. It's so much easier to drive when you put your foot down. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy the fear the Astra gave you. Like, it just felt like it wanted to kill you when you put your foot down. But with this, it's very less dramatic. It's sort of like you can predict what it wants to do. You can put your foot down, not have to worry like, right, which way is it going to want to pull me? Is it going to want to pull me left? Is it going to want to pull me right? But you just put your foot down. It just stays true. Just you put your foot down, go straight. There's no drama. Obviously, a lot of people enjoy that. They enjoy a car that's trying to kill you. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed that as well. But I just like how predictable this is. You haven't got to worry like, right, I'm going to put my foot down now. I've really got to hold on. But no, easy, so easy. But yeah, that's one thing I do like. I prefer the Focus over the Astra. It's a lot more predictable with its power delivery. Obviously, it comes down to a map, I guess. With the Astras, obviously, I had a wayside map on me, and it was pretty savage. But what is it they say? Spinning and winning. So obviously, Astra just wants to spin up all the time. Obviously, if you put an LSD in it, then you sorted, don't you? But this list is off my Astra Vxr, not just the Astra Vxr in general. But yeah, that is one thing. Another thing I do like about the Focus. It's just predictable. Right then, this is another funny one. Believe it or not, the Focus handles better than the Astra. I mean, I can put my foot down now, running bends, and it doesn't handle bad. It's not as bad as you think. Where the Astra is sort of like you're always teetering on the edge. Obviously, once I put the rear anti-roll bar on it, it obviously transformed the car. But obviously, this hasn't got one on, unless I put one on, obviously. But yeah, I just feel like I have a lot more confidence throwing it around the corners. Yeah, it's still boaty. It is still boaty, but the Astra wasn't. Like, it just sort of like the back end wanted to step out a lot if you're really on the edge. Whereas this, it's sort of like you can sort of, again, you can predict what it wants to do. But yeah, I think handling wise, I do feel it handles just a little bit better than the Astra. Not much. It's not a great deal in it, but I have a lot more confidence in this throwing this round a bend than I did with the Astra. And I think even Tiffany Dow, I think he reviewed it years ago, and I think even he said that the Focus does handle a little bit better than the Astra. Yes, again, the Astra is a lot quicker out of the gate, I suppose, but I just feel a lot more confident throwing this into a corner, and I just think, I ain't got to worry about it. I can sort of predict what it's going to do. With the Astra, again, I think it helps with the power delivery. Whereas the Astra, you come around a corner, you put your foot down, and again, you didn't know which way it wanted to pull you. Whereas this, again, it's predictable. Maybe boring to most, I suppose. Luckily, where I live, there's not a lot of twisties, but it's mainly dual carriageways and roundabouts. It's a bit like Milton Keynes. But you can predict what it's going to do. But yeah, I do feel that's one thing the Focus does excel at only a little bit. Like it's not much in it. Again, it's still a boaty car. They don't handle the greatest, but I do feel it handles just a little bit better, than the Astra does. Right then guys, that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of you probably won't agree with what I've said, but I can't please everybody. I do try and please you all, but I can't please everyone. It's just my personal opinion. Like I said, I don't hate the Astra Vxr. I love that car. It's brilliant, brilliant car when it worked, but in the end it almost gave me a nervous breakdown. It had to go. But like I said, I'm only comparing it to my Astra Vxr, not the Astra Vxr in general. I do still like the Astra Vxr. I think they're brilliant cars. I always still look at them and smile when I go out Astra or James's. It makes me miss mine quite a lot, but it's just, you know, I thought do a little video for you guys, because I do get asked the question like, well, how do I feel with the Focus compared to the Astra? So there you go. And well done if you've made it this far into the video. I will give you like a sneaky look into what my main video is going to be coming when it goes on the dyno. Basically what I'm going to be doing, I've spoken to Chris at Wayside Performance, absolute legend as always. He's agreed to let me put the car on the dyno and go for all the main maps on that iMap device. So we'll have Race Plus, Performance Plus, DSCI, Mod B, Mod C, and maybe Mod X. We'll see if we'll try it for science and see what the car does. Obviously we have to keep an eye on the AFRs and make sure it isn't knocking or anything like that, which Chris can keep an eye on. We'll back out, but it'd just be quite interesting. I thought it'd be quite interesting for you guys as well to see exactly what power each map gives out, how accurate it is to the Dream Science website, and we'll go from there. I just thought it'd be a pretty cool video for you guys. I don't think it's been done before, not as far as I'm aware of it anyway. But yeah, I appreciate every one of you guys. I do apologise for the lack of uploads. I am trying, but work's getting in the way at the minute. It's just gone mad. So make sure you smash that like button, guys. I really appreciate it. Helps the channel out a lot. And subscribe if you're new. And you know, feel free to comment. Do you agree with what I said? Do you not agree? I can guarantee a lot of you won't agree with my take on things, which is completely fine. It's just personal opinion, isn't it? So as always, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.